Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Jake.
And my name is Ruffled Rowlett.
And today we'll be talking about it's a little more of a debate type of video here, right man?
Oh yes sir, definitely is.
So in today's video we'll be talking about what we believe will be happening with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I personally think we'll be going a little bit back to the Kanto region, but as well the Ultra Beasts that are supposedly leaked will be taking us back to the Alola region because, well, if you don't remember, at the end of Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon and Sun and Moon as well, Lily or Gladion go back to the Kanto region, so it makes sense if we go back, right?
No, I definitely agree with you. Like, it would make sense because we've been having so many hints within Sun and Moon specifically that we are going to be going to those regions again. So I do agree we're most likely going to be returning there in one way or shape. So I agree with you on that point, most definitely.
The only problem that I don't have with this is that it talks... So, by the way, if you guys aren't aware by this time yet, we are talking about an article we did find. In this article, it suggests that Team Rainbow Rocket are the main antagonists. And they're pretty much, if you don't know who Team Rainbow Rocket is, they're the new Team Rocket from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And they brought back all these different evil team leaders such as Ghetsis, Max, and Archie, and so forth in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And if they're the main antagonists for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, is there a possibility we'll be seeing other Eevee leaders in the new games?
I personally don't think so. If you actually, look through Ultra Sun and Moon and you play them, you will notice that, a lot of the other team leaders don't really care much for Giovanni's, ambitions and stuff. They kind of just joined in because why not, almost. It's kind of weird to describe, but, I don't think we'll be seeing the other ones popping up. I think Giovanni will. The reason why is because he was, he disappeared through a wormhole at the end of the Rainbow Rocket episode during, Ultra Sun and Moon. If you actually play through it, you actually see at the end of the game where he just disappears through a wormhole that he actually, pops up, on his own, so to say. So I personally feel like, no, the other guys are not going to pop up. He will, though, but I think they're kind of going to pull and this is, again, just my own speculation here, but I think they're going to pull a fast one and be like, oh, we're going to just hide him, you know what I mean? We're just going to hide him so you guys don't know, what's up here. You're not going to know, who the evil leader is or whatever. And then, they're going to do the, ta-da, here's the reveal. It's been Giovanni all this time, pulling the strings behind the, behind the curtain or whatever. So that's kind of what I'm feeling they're going to do with him because, he's probably going to pop up in this alternative universe of Kanto or this alternative timeline, because he has the ability to travel through, wormholes and, timelines and, essentially time and space itself. So that's kind of my thought on that.
To go back to how you're just saying how Giovanni is going to pop out of nowhere, have you ever played Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver? I'm assuming you have, right?
Yes. I think you want to refer back to when you travel back in time and you use Celebi to travel back in time.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So I know exactly what you're going to refer to there because, you travel back in time with Celebi in Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and then you actually go into a cave and you meet Giovanni, and you actually battle him, you defeat him, and then he says it's essentially oh, Team Rocket is over. You know what I mean? Team Rocket is done for, essentially. He walks out of the cave, and then you just hear a bang, essentially, like a boom or whatever. And when you go outside, Giovanni's just gone. He's just vanished. He's not there. So what a lot of people speculated was that already back in those days that Giovanni had somehow been teleported maybe through an ultra wormhole that's some sort of dimensional portal had opened up or whatever, and people were always speculating did he just end his own people were speculating, did he end his own life or did he do something crazy? There's a lot of speculation about it, and I personally feel like he most likely then discovered the wormholes, and that's why we then see him now in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon popping up as this team leader now for this gigantic, huge organization being Rainbow Rocket.
Exactly. So that's a very valid point, actually, there. What if he did actually go ahead and discover those Ultra Wormholes? But another point I want to bring up here is in this article, it talks about how there will be 3D Ultra Beast, Red, Blue, and Void. A subscriber of mine actually brought up that Ultra Beast Void may be missing now, and this ties over to... I don't know if you saw this article. I'm assuming you have. They were on a few days ago. I think it was 4 new unrevealed Pokemon got released or revealed or whatever. I don't even know how to say it because technically they weren't released, but they were revealed in the Satoshi Tahiri magazine or manga. And in this manga, the 4 Pokemon that were revealed, they actually have missing no numbers. Do you think that this Ultra Beast Void could be missing no that we've been wanting in the Pokemon games for so long?
No. No, I don't think so. I think we're reading too much into it, honestly, dude. I don't think, they're just showing those off like as a kind of way to, I guess, almost celebrate the franchise and whatnot. Would it be cool to see them pop up again? Sure. Would it be cool if they popped up as some sort of Ultra Beast or whatever? Definitely. Most definitely. I am totally on board for that. But is it likely to happen? Big no-no. Why? Because it would be redundant for them to do that. Because a lot of the Pokemon that we saw them, like, kind of, you know, showing in those images, those missing numbers, the missing nose, you know what I mean? Those are like Pokemon that we have kind of today. Like a lot of them were inspiration, used as inspiration for future Pokemon games. Hence why, you know, we have Pokemon that are very similar. For example, if you look at the deer Pokemon, it looks like a deer. It looks very much like Stantler and whatnot. Or, you know, can you compare it to Xerneas or whatever, because, you know, they're kind of also like deers and whatnot. But it's kind of besides the point. What I kind of want to get across, though, is that I don't think we'll be seeing them pop up. Definitely not as Ultra Beasts, because they don't want to go back like that. They would rather progress and make new things if they're gonna, you know, introduce Ultra Beasts again. Though I feel like Ultra Beasts kind of ran their course, specifically with, you know, Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon. I think that's kind of it for them. You know, we had like Poipole and whatnot show up, and Stakataka and Blacephalon, I think. Those three were like the new ones we got, and I think that they were planned most likely to be included in this upcoming game, but I think they kind of just dropped it and used it in Ultra Sun and Moon instead, because maybe it fit there better. So I don't think we'll be seeing too much of, you know, Ultra Beast showing up again. Would I think it would be cool to see them show up again and new Ultra Beasts and stuff? Most definitely. I think Ultra Beasts were great, you know, a great addition, because always when we get like new styles of like either Pokemon or Ultra Beasts, whatever it may be, or Megas or whatever, like new gimmicks are always fun with Pokemon. They're always enjoyable. So I would definitely want to see more, but I don't think those missing notes are in any relation to that, in my honest opinion.
And the second last thing I want to talk to you about is, what do you think Zoroark's connection will be to these games? I personally think that Zora may be a connection of where later on in the games you get Zorua, and it actually helps you evolve your Pikachu into maybe Gorochu or something, or it gives Pikachu or Eevee a special power or so forth. But do you think that Gorochu will be in the next Pokemon games, or do you think it's just going to be a Generation 7 Pokemon?
Okay, so first thing with Zoroark, I think, or Zeraora, sorry, not Zoroark. Zeraora, I don't think it will have an impact on this upcoming game. It's getting a lot of promotion, that's for sure. It's definitely getting a lot of promotion from, like, the Pokemon Company and, you know, from, like, not Game Freak, but, like, you know, generally the Pokemon Company are giving it a lot of attention, which they only really do when they want to hype up a Pokemon. And the way they've hyped it up and the way they're going to release it is just in the main current series games, which are Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I don't think it will have any impact, especially not on Pikachu, in the upcoming games. Will it be catchable or obtainable? Most likely, but seeing the way, like, the Pokemon has kind of ran its course in terms of, like, mythical Pokemon, it's just going to be one of those Pokemon that you just get a QR code for and, you know, put into your game, and that's it. It's not going to have any impact on the story whatsoever, I think. Would it be cool if it did? Sure, but, like, in all honesty, if you look at, like, Marshadow as well, it was just used as a kind of promotional tool for, you know, as like, oh, we got a new Pokemon and it's going to be in this movie and you've never seen it before. Woo, it's so crazy or whatever, even though we all knew about it. Same thing with Zeraora is like, oh, it's this crazy new Pokemon. You've never seen it before. And it's going to show up in this upcoming movie. And, you know, you make sure to buy Ultra Sun and Moon. You can get it right now because it's really badass. It's got this crazy move. Like, that's the only thing they use it for. It's just a movie promotion thing. I don't think Zeraora really has anything beyond that. To influence the story or gameplay of this upcoming Switch game whatsoever. And as for Gorochu, however much I wish for it to be real, that it would happen, I don't think it will. Though, I mean, there is a chance for it, considering, like, it's so weird that they decided to bring up Gorochu, this, like, long-lost evolution of, like, Raichu, all of a sudden out of nowhere, like, oh, hey, guys, you know what? We actually plan to give Raichu an evolution. So this was going to be the Pokemon with the most evolutions in the past. And I mean, you know, Pikachu was supposed to have the most Evos. It's strange, we know, but hey, let's tell you about it. Very strange that it's coming out now as we're getting all these leaks, all these things popping up. Strange timing, I will say that for sure. Strange timing. But do I think it has any influence and it's going to be in the game? Very unlikely. I don't think they would do that because it would just kind of destroy the flow of Pokemon, having Pokemon now receive past, like, 2 stages of evolutions. That'll be a third stage. And I thought, like, we already kind of had Mega Evolutions, and adding in Gorochu as this, like, 4th evolution now, it would kind of just cluster up the franchise a little bit too much, I feel like. So I think that's kind of unlikely to happen. I don't think we'll be seeing that. But if it does happen, though, hey, you can just tell me I was stupid, I didn't know anything. But if it doesn't end up happening, then understand that, it was kind of... we should have kind of expected it not to happen based on the fact that, it was just something that we're shown to know about, and it's very unlikely they would want to put it in the games as well now that we already know about it. They'll probably want to reveal it in a more grandiose way than just giving it to us like, hey, guess what? You got Gorochu now. They wouldn't even have told us about it. They would have just like, waited for the announcement and then been like, hey guys, we're going to reveal like 3 new Pokemon. One of them is a evolution for Pikachu, and it's Gorochu. Yay. And then they show us Gorochu. And then once they showed us Gorochu, they actually like do like a interview about like, oh, so, the Gorochu was actually planned back in 1996. That's when we were supposed to put it in red and blue. But due to the limitations of the device, we couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Something like that. That's more logical to me. So that's kind of my opinion on that though.
I really like how into detail you went on that, actually, because like you said, it doesn't really make sense for them to just be like out of the blue, like, oh yeah, we were supposed to make Gorochu in the game, but we never did because of the limitations of the Game Boy, right? But what I do think might be able to happen later on is that, I don't know if you, I'm sure you do know this, Kirlia can actually evolve into Gardevoir or Glade, right? Maybe they do that with Pikachu, where if you have a male or female Pikachu, it'll evolve either into Gorochu or Raichu or something like that, or just have it so that if you just don't need a Thunderstone, your Pikachu will evolve into Gorochu eventually, and so forth, right? But it really makes sense that they reveal this now. It doesn't really make sense. I think it's more just to give a little bit trivia on the older games and to give more hints, but like, hey, we might be going back to the Kanto region, right? And that brings me to the last point here. Do you think Gorochu, if those Pokemon do end up coming, do you think they might have something like Cantonian forms like we did in Alola if we do go back to the Kanto region, or do you think the Alola forms were just especially to the Alola region, like how we got Mega Evolution in Pokemon X and Y and so forth?
Okay, so in terms of that topic, right, I think like regional forms or regional variants are definitely something they may bring back, because like it's kind of a worthwhile thing to do. It's a worthwhile investment for them, because look at the sales of like the Alolan Vulpix, right, or the Alolan like Ninetales. Like those like plushes and stuff sold really well for them. Same thing goes for like all the other Pokemon within that area. Like the merchandise sells well, and if they can make money from it, they will do it. And they know people love when you kind of just mix around Pokemon from the past and kind of give them literally like things that they would have made up themselves. Like even before Alola forms were a thing, people were making like Pokemon like, like, oh, this is a Charizard that's a grass type or whatever. Like people do that sort of stuff in the past already. So if you give them, more of that, you're just giving them what they always wanted, and that's just for you a beneficial situation. So I think we're most likely going to see regional variants, not based on Gorochu or any stuff like that. I'm going to just discount Gorochu because, I already said it a second ago, I have my reasoning for why I don't think it's going to be a thing, but that's beside the point. I think we're going to see regional variants because it's a lucrative thing for them to do. Like, they can make money from it. So why wouldn't they do it? So that's kind of my thought on that, is we're most likely going to see regional variants. Which Pokemon are going to be regional variants? I don't know. Maybe they'll do just Johto Pokemon getting a regional variants because they've already done Kanto, and maybe they'll do it for every game from now on. They'll just keep doing, Pokemon from a specific like, previous generation, one by one. So it's, Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, etc. And that's kind of what I'm personally thinking. So yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much me and him's thoughts on this. I honestly think that we might not get Cantonian forms just because we already have the Cantonian gym. If we do end up getting a different regional variant like you were talking about, I don't think it will be called Cantonian, and probably will be called something else, just because, well, I guess we got the Cantonian gym, so why name something else Cantonian? It would probably just be something completely different, how we may have, like, unreleased Evos or something like that. I don't really know. I personally am really excited if these are Kanto reboots, because the possibilities are really endless for these games, right? There was so much stuff that never got released in the original Red, Blue, and Green, and Yellow, because, well, there were the limitations of the systems back then. So there's so much stuff we don't know about these games up until today that we may be seeing into these being implanted into these games. But to end up this video, I'm going to ask you a question, and that is, what Pokemon would you like to see a regional variant of? And it can't be Rowlet, because I do know you love Rowlet, but it has to be something else.
Yeah, no. If I was to get a Pokemon that I would want to see a regional variant on, it would be a kind of tie between Nidoking and Lugia, personally. Now, I know, for example, I'm mentioning like Lugia second, even though it's my favorite Pokemon specifically. I'm mentioning it second because I know it's unlikely for it to get a form, but Nidoking has a higher chance, so I would love to see like a new form of Nidoking, or maybe even a Mega Evolution would be fantastic in my honest opinion. So that's one Pokemon that I definitely would see, get some extra love and some extra care from Game Freak specifically. So yeah, that's my choice.
Honestly, I can honestly see Nidoking being like this monstrous thing that like has like 3 or 4 horns, right? Like it just looks so. I love the Nidoking evolution as well. That's been our discussion video here. Honestly, I'm a firm believer that we'll be going back to the Kanto region, but in a reboot, and I think you are too, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, based on the things we've seen so far, most likely, yeah. Just based on the things we've seen, I would say I would, be inclined to agree. So yeah.
But if you guys haven't already, please go check out the buddy Ruffle Rowlet's video. And he makes awesome, amazing videos on speculation videos. If you want anything Pokemon Switch related news, go check him out. He really deserves it. And as well, if you want to expand your knowledge on such games as fan games or GBA ROM hacks, or just kind of any ROM hacks or fan games, go check out his channel. Is the main source of ROM hacks you can find there, as well as fan games. He's actually working on his own game right now called Rowl. So go check him out. That's all. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, peace. I'll see you guys then.